Warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello, everybody, and good morning or evening, or maybe good night for those who are watching this video right now. So, today I'm going to teach you about quadratic equation, or maybe there's some quadratic linear in here. So, as you can see on my slides here, my name is Muhammad Irfan bin Chitrani. I'm sorry with my webcam on the way. I don't know how to adjust it. And I'm from Unit Mathematics 1 in IPG campus Kota Baru. So as you can see, I'm going to teach you about how to solve a quadratic equation, which is I'm going to show in the next slide, where we are going to discover what this question is about. And I'm going to show you step by step, which is a very simple way for you to understand. And I hope after this, you will learn something and maybe you can apply this method to any other question about quadratic equation. So without wasting any time, let's move on to the next slide. So here we are. We are going to move for the next part, which is called question. So let's move on and see what the question about without wasting any time. So here we are, we have a thing called fences, which is, although I'm sorry that I don't put the name fence, which is, this is a fence that is consists of a triangle and a rectangular. So we have the we have the triangle that consists of the A, E, and B, and the rectangle consists of D, E, B, and C, which is on the side of here, BC, we have a length, which is 7 plus x plus 7 centimeters, and the bottom we have 2x minus 1 centimeters. So the question is about, let's read the question. Mr. Raza has a bungalow house which the total perimeter, the perimeter of all the area of his land or houses land for his property, which is land, is 376 meters, which means all the perimeters out the lines of the lands is 376 meters. He want to put the fence all around his house, which is all of the land is covered with fence, which is outside, which is on the line. The fence has a 3 centimeter width. So the thickness of the fence is 3 centimeters only, which is, I guess, kind of very thin, or maybe it's a very normal size for fence. And we have here the front view of the fence that will be placed around his property is shown in the diagram below. Or I'm sorry, below, it's above. I forgot to put it on the bottom. So let's say above. So the fence consists of the isosceles triangle ABE, which is that I have shown you before, ABE or AEB, which is isosceles, which is this here, have the same length, A and B and E and A. So that's one. So and rectangle BCDE over here, this is the rectangle over here, if you guys can see, combine together to be a fence. So the area for the rectangular part, the area of the fence is 7,850 centimeters squared, which is the area of this rectangle, not not plus the triangle here, only 7,850 centimeters squares. While the total perimeter for the fence, all of this, the perimeter, not the area, the perimeter for all these fences, which is here, which I labeled my laser pen over here, are in bracket 364 plus 4,100 centimeters. The length of CD here, which is given or maybe shown in the diagram, 2x minus y centimeters, which we already know, while the length of both BC and DE, because they have rectangular, so here and here have the same length, and BC and DE have the same length also. So which is, if BC here state in the sentence x plus 7, so DE is x plus 7 too, while DC 2x minus 1, so EB is also 2x minus 1. The length for AB is cert 1000 2025. So where is AB? Here, although it's not shown here again, but we must read the sentence. We have, maybe they have give some extra information that they don't show in the diagram above. So they give you cert 1025 here, and if they state that it is an isosceles triangle, so if this cert 1025 centimeters, here also are 1025 cert 1025 centimeters. So Mr. Razak wanted to paint all fence around himself with the red and blue paint. he want to paint the fence on pattern that the first fence is painted with red. The next two, which is me first, which is first fence, is painted with red, and next two, which is first, and then the next two, 1 plus 1 and equals 2, which is an arithmetic question, which we're gonna use next, is blue. So after that, and the next three with red. So which means after blue, two fence of blue, and then next three fence is red. It's like an arithmetic question because they have need to add one more. So we're gonna use arithmetic equation after this. So let's read the question what they want to ask us about the sentence. What is the minimum number of fences that need to be placed by him? Which is how many fences in the area of the perimeter of the land. And second question is about how many fences that going to be painted with the color red. So it's like a arithmetic question that I told you before. The first fan is red, and the second next two is blue, and the next three is red, and so on, which is the next four is going to be blue again, and the next five is going to be red, and it's all going to be repeated again until all fences had been painted. So the third question is calculate the total area of the fence that are going to be painted blue color in meters square. Alright, that is our question, and maybe you guys gonna say like, wow, arithmetic question, the how to count or what how much defense he gonna need to use to put in all his land. Like there's a lot of question, but don't worry, I'm gonna teach you how to read one. Here we are on the question, which is the diagram, which is I fully put it all the equation or all the numbers in the sentence onto the diagram so we can understand it more. So which is stated on the question, which is this diagram. Remember, the triangle is an isosceles triangle, which is had the same length over here. So if this is set 1025 centimeters, which is state on the question, which is in the sentence, here are also going to be set 1025, and this also going to be x plus 7 centimeters, and also which is in the diagram before that we all can see 2x minus 1. So let's move on how to do the first question. We move to the first question, which is here are the full information that I also taken from the question and put it on here so we can understand. Full perimeter is 376 meters, and while the fence had a width 3 centimeters, we really need to understand this, guys, so we're able to solve the question, which is we have three questions. So here we have the perimeter fence, which is equal to in the bracket 364 plus 34,100 centimeters, and the rectangle area have 7,850 centimeters square, which is the rectangle of the fence. So let's move on. Here we are going to the first question. One, I'm sorry that I don't put this to solve have the the title to solve the question one. So but from the perimeter over here, it is already stated full perimeter of the fence is 374, which is here with my laser here, 374 plus 4,100. And this is the plus 1, which is here to x minus 1 y, which is the bottom of the fence. And why we have 2 of x plus 7? Because we have 2 of the side of the triangle. Because of the rectangle, we have the fence, we have 2. So we need to count that, the bottom one and the 2 on the side. And also plus 2 over here because we have the two length on the top of the triangle, which we need also to count. We don't need to count the top because it is in the inside of the fence. We need to count the outside fence only. We have 2 set 1025 and which equals to 604 plus set 4100. And after that, we need to minus. After we gather all the x, we obtain 4x, 2x plus x, and then the next day we get negative y minus y and minus 364, which is y. We have to put here 0 because we want to gather all place in one place so it will make easier for us. Or you can use the left hand rules, which is here minus 364 plus 4100 left on the right side of my presentation here, or and minus also on the left side over here 364 plus 1400 4100. So we have this here basically. After we minus it, we have minus 364 and the minus 4100. And also here we have, after we get it all, also we have two set of here, so we get it all. We have two set 1025, And after that, we move on to 4x minus 1 and minus 350 after all the numbers added. And here we are factorized. Factorized, we have set 25 because set 45 because we already know if set times set is equal to 1025 because set 25 times set 41 is equal to 1025. Inside the set, if they times, there will be the number of the set that is the first set. So we have factorized here, become 25, and we also factorize the set 4100 to become set 100 times set 41, although I'm certain I don't put the times here, equal to 0. And let's move on. So 4x minus 1 minus 350, which is equal to times 5, because set 25 is 5, so 2 times 5 is set 41. 41 don't have the perfect square over here, and minus set 100 equal to 10 times set 41 equals 0. And the next is we're going to get 4x minus 1 minus 350 plus 10 set 41 and minus 10 set 48, which is the same, right? So we can cancel it out. So we can cut this one, so we get 0. So we will left with 4x minus y minus 350. All right. So let's move on. Like I say, we have left with 4x minus y minus 355 equals 0. So let's do y as the subject because x f4 in front, so it's kind of tricky because we may be in like in the you know it's kind of a little bit tricky to do. So let's just y because he's already alone. Maybe it need to be a bracket if we use x. So let's y equal 4x minus 355. Just move y over here or plus 1 on the right, left side and right side. So we get y equal 4x minus 350. So the next, the area slide over here. So we got in the bracket, we have the rectangular and the bottom of the rectangular and the side of rectangular. So two times together will be the area of the rectangle. As stated over here, we got all of the area of the rectangle, which is 7,850. And here, if this is the side of the rectangle and 2x minus y over here is the bottom of the triangle. So the rectangle. So those two times together will be 7,850. So we're gonna multiply both of the in the brackets. So we got 2x squared minus xy plus 14x minus 7y equals 7,850. So from the equation, from the previous equation, we got the y, which is over here, equals to 4x minus 3,550. So we're going to substitute that into the equation that we got over here. So after we substitute that, we're going to get 2x squared minus x in the bracket 4x minus 350 in the close bracket plus 40x minus 7 in the brackets also for x minus 350 equals 7,850. So I'm sorry over here that there's a problem error, but I'm gonna promise you the equation is right, the answer is right. So we have 350x over here. I'm sorry that I don't forgot to put x. So 2x squared minus 4x squared over here, 350x. I'm sorry, is x not 350 only. So plus 40x minus 28x plus 2,450 equals 75,000. So here you guys can see an arrow, so we're gonna move 7,850 here, so we're gonna be negative. From positive gonna be negative, or you can use the left hand or right hand side, which is minus 7,850 over here and minus 7,850 over here. So if we do that, we're gonna get negative 2x squared. After we get all that and solve the equation, we're gonna get negative 2x squared plus 336x minus 4,400 equal to 0. So we're gonna simplify that into to leave the x squared alone. So if the negative x negative 2x squared, we're gonna divide all of that into negative 2 because we're gonna want to the x squared to be alone like this, x squared minus 168 after 336 divided by negative 2, and also negative 5,400 is going to be 2,700 after divided by negative 2 equals 0. So from the expression, you guys can use the calculator if you guys want to factorize to get, or you guys can use your brain, or maybe if you are smart enough to factorize it, it's going to be in the bracket x minus 18 and x negative 1 x minus 150 equal to 0 in the bracket. So we got two numbers here, like x equal 18 like x 150. Which one are you going to use? So to decide which way we pick, we're gonna need to know what is the y value. So let's move on. How to say the y value? So if x equals 18, like we said before, y like from the free equation with y equals 4x times 350, we're going to use substitute x equal nt into the equation. Like 4 times 80 in the bracket minus 350 is going to be 72 minus 350. It's going to be negative. What? So here is rejected because it is rejected because it is negative. Like what? How can length be negative? So it's rejected. We don't want it. So like you guys can see below here, if x equals 150, substitute into the y equation. Y equals 4 times 150 minus 350. So it's going to be 600 times 350 is going to be 250, which is positive. So the length is positive. Is kind of logic, right? So it is accepted in the logic way. So let's move on. We're going to pick x equal 150. So here we are, we got x equal 150 and y equal 250. Find the total of fences. Here we have the equation like from before. From the bottom of the fence, we got 2y minus x, right? So 2x minus y, I'm sorry. So 2x, 2 times 150 minus 250, which is y, we got 50 centimeters, which is 50 centimeters is the bottom of the rectangle. So 376 perimeter convert to centimeters is 376 times 100 because meter to centimeters is times 100, right? So we got 37,600 centimeters. And the way y is only divided by 50. So what is the function of x plus 7? It is because the bottom is only, the fence it is combined together. It is put together, which is really close. So we don't want to count the beside because it is only the length. So the bottom only touch the length, not the side. So we count the bottom only. So 37,600 divided by 50, which is the bottom of the fence, to count how many fence, which is the bottom of the fence touch. So after that, we get the value of 752 fence because all of the length is only 750 there with the bottom of the length of 50 centimeters touch the length. So let's move on. Here we are. That we already solved the first question, which is how many fans that we need to use. So we got 750 fences. So then move on to the second question, which is how many fans that are going to be paired with the color red. This, like I said before, use arithmetic equation is because it is said in the center that is the first fan is paired with red, and the next two you see it is plus one more, which is blue, and the next three, which is plus one more, become red. So all of the fans, right? So if all, we are going to use the full arithmetic equation, which is from the equation we got, I guess you know, we got equation in arithmetic, we got a plus, in the bracket and minus 1 close bracket and then times d. And but if all the, the arrangement, which is we're going to use the form of Sn because we need to count all of the sequence. So x s per n, we're going to times 2a plus in the bracket n minus 1 equals t, which is almost the same but kind of different from the basic one. So the first fan is red with a total of 1. So a is start with 1 because we're going to count red. So a is 1. S is the first sequence. The second fan is blue with a total of 2. So t2 is equal to 2. So d is t1 minus t2, which is 1. This difference, right? So from over here, but we don't want to count the red first. We want to count all of the fans. So we're gonna know how many blues, how many fans, how many sequence of blue and red. So from here we got 752, which is the total of the fans within the sequence, which the total of the fans going to be in the sequence equal Sn, which is Sn. We're going to n per 2 because we don't know how many the total sequence per 2, which is per 2 with, and then 2a is start with 1, the first fans, and then plus n, we don't know yet, minus 1 times 1. So we're going to solve it. We got 752 bigger or equals to n per 2 in the bracket 2 plus n negative 1 after 1 multiplied by n negative 1, and after that we're going to get 752 bigger or equal to n per 2 equals 1 plus n. And after that, we're going to multiply it with n per 2. We're going to get 752 equals or bigger than n per 2 or plus n squared per 2. So after that, we're going to get 1,504, which is bigger, which is the 2 from the bottom. We're going to go up or both plus 2 if you want to left side, right hand, left hand. So we're going to both times 2. So we're going to get 1404 and biggest or equals to n plus n square. So here we can use to be in the quadratic equation. We're going to move 1574 into this side, or maybe we can use the left hand or right hand side minus 1504 in the both side. So we're going to get this equation over here. After that, we're going to factorize it to, and we will get, if you use calculator, or you guys can use your brain if you're smart enough, n minus 38.28, and in another bracket we get n plus 39.28. I'm sorry, there's a comma over here. So like I can see, if you guys use like both these equal to 0, we're gonna get one number n equals to 38.28, and another one is negative 39 because it's positive over here, so 2 equals 0. So left and right hand side rules both minus, so this is going to be negative. So we don't want to be negative, we want positive, right? Negative is, what is the negative? What is the total of negative? There's no such thing equals to negative. So we're going to move to next slide. So here, if we draw the graph of here, the diagram or the graph, we can see this here is 38.28 and it's 39.29. So let's round it to the nearest value to, understand better whether they have a point or decimals kind of, confusing. So we get n equals to 8. That is the total of the sequence for red and blue. So if you want to know what is the red and the blue, so we need to divide by 2 because there's only two color, red and blue. So we divided 2, so we get 19 for each red and blue. So the next slide we're gonna get is, let's find total of red fences. So red fences like 19, right? Blue and red, so we get red. So find the blue because the total is 3.828 because there is more 2.28, so kind of a little bit of red. It's not a lot, although it's decibel, but it must count because there's more red, right? Because it is a point, not in round number. So red has more fence because 3 is the sequence end with blue, not red. So there's more red to it. So we need to know about the blue first because blue is in the perfect sequence. There's no point. So we need to know blue. So after that, we can all the fence minus the blue. So T4 minus T2, the blue first. This because the third sequence is red. And 4 minus 2 because the third sequence which is red, which is 3. And because we got 2, that is D, the difference of fence of blue is 2. So A equals 2 because blue start at second sequence, which is 2. So let's find the total of red fence, put it all in the equation. So we got S19 equals 19.2 times 2 times A, which is 2, and plus 19 minus 1 times 2 also. So after that, if we multiply in the brackets, we got 4, 2 plus 2, 4, and 18. 90 plus 1, 80 times 2, we're going to get 4 plus 80 times 2, we're going to get 14 over here. 90 by 2 equals 380. So red fence is total times blue, like I said before. 752, this is the total of red. Blue, right, is in the perfect sequences. So red has decimal. So 752 minus 380 equals 372. This is the perfect number for fences, although has a point kind of tricky, but is the perfect number for red. So let's move on. We done question number 2. Now let's move on to the third question, which is calculate the total area of the fence that are going to be painted the blue color in meter square. Width is not calculated because the fence is joined. Because the fence is joined, not like one by one. It is joined, so the width is not calculated because the fence is joined. So here, the area of the fences. So we're gonna move to the rectangle side first. We have the fence, we have the front and the back. So we need to count both of them. So here we have the bottom of the fence to x minus 1, so x equals 150 and y equals 250, which is, so we're gonna substitute into that. So 2 times 150 minus 250 equals 50 centimeters, and of course we want 2 in meters, so convert to meters. 50 divided by 100, we can get 0.5 meters because we want to use meter because it's going to be easier for us to understand, because centimeters is going to be a lot of numbers. So let's use meters so it can be small numbers. So here we are on the side where x plus 7 over here. This is the side of the x plus 7. So 150 plus 7 equals 157 centimeters. So of course we're going to convert to meters. So 157 divided by 100 equals 1.75 centimeters. So here we have the bottom and the left, so we need to times 2 of this to get the all of the rectangle. So if 1.57 times 0.5, we're gonna get 0.785 over here. So, and also this is for the one side only. So if there is two sides, so we're gonna multiply it by 2. So 0.7855 times 2 is going to be 1.57 meters square. So let's move on. So now that is the rectangle side. So here we are, we have the triangle side, which is on the top. So first we need to find the bottom of all, because you know the area of triangle is going to be 1 per 2 times the bottom of the triangle and the height of triangle. So 50 divided by 2 is equal 25. So from the formula is going to be c squared a squared b squared y, because we want to find the height. So we need to use the theorem Pythagoras. So change it to c squared times a squared to b squared, because you know if you want the height of triangle, so the c square is the hypotenuse, so set 1025 square minus 25 square equal height of triangle. So 1025, the set is cancelled because of the square, and minus 625 because of the square 25 equals 400. So we got p square is equal of 400. So if we want to cancel the square, we need to set both of them, we need to root. So we got b equals to 20 centimeters, which is the height. So let's move on. That's the height only. We're gonna convert all centimeters to meters. Like I said, 20 is the height. I'm sorry that I don't put on the diagram. So 20 divided by 100 equals 0.2 meters, and 25, which is the bottom of here, is 25 because we got 50. So we divide by 2, we got 25. So divided by 1, we got 0.25. So the formula of triangle, we know 1 times per 2 times the bottom times the height. So 1 per 2 times 0.25 times 0.2, we get 0.025, which is this side only. So we got two sides of the triangle, and that is the front part, which is we will need times 4, because there's the front part, because if there's 2 on the front, 2 on the back, so equals 4. So we need to times 4 is going to be 0.1 meter square. We can use centimeters in the first place, but it's kind of hard to, to convert centimeters square into meter square. It's really hard, so we're going to use meter square on the first, so it will be easier. So after that, we're going to convert to meters. That is, we done the part of the triangle. Now is the no the width part of the triangles. We need to count that also, because that is also in the area, because it has width. The width for the first place that is the width is not counted is for the rectangle, because rectangle is joined together, so it will not count the width. But on the triangle, it's not joined together because there's some space, so we need to count the width also. Here we are, we have the side of the triangle, we got convert to centimeters in the first place, so it will be easier. So set 0.102.5 divided by 100, we got 0.3202 meters in width. We round it to 4 decimals, and 3, which is the width, divided by 100, we got 0.03 meters, and 0.3203 times 0.03, we get 0.009605 meters squared for the area of the side of the triangle here. So time 2, because you have two sides, as the first side only. For this one is the first side, so there's two sides, so we need to time it's by 2. After that, we time it by 2, we're gonna get 0.01921. I'm sorry that I don't put in the previous side. So if it add all the areas of radius from the rectangle front and part, and the rectangle front and back, and also the side of the triangles, we're gonna get 1.57 plus 0.1, and we get plus 0.01921. We're gonna get 1.68921 meters square. So that is for the first fan of there's one fence of blue. So there's total of 380 fans of blue. So if we calculate the area of all the blue fans in meters square, I'm sorry, there's no square in there, we're gonna get 7.68921 times 380 equals 683.3958 meters square. That is all for the blue fence, right? So that's the question 3. We done the part of the question 3. So that is all from me for today for my session. I hope you guys can understand it, and maybe you guys can apply it for other question of quality question. That's all for me. The end. Thank you for listening to my teaching session. Goodbye. See you next again. Assalamualaikum.